Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for Ark Survival Evolved. Today in this video, folks, I am going to be showing you how to find and tame a Purlovia. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. So before we get into the video, in order to tame a Purlovia, you must first find it. Now, this can be quite difficult because they are hard to spot on the map. So there is a way of actually looking for the Purlovias, which is what I'm going to be showing you. And then I'm going to show you a trap that you can use in order to tame yourself a Purlovia, as well as the sort of kibble that it likes. So obviously, let's get into it. And the very first thing that you'll want to know is that the Purlovias are quite invisible when they are underground. So in front of me there is a Purlovia, and if you look, you cannot see it at all. But if you go into K, you can see that there's a little rock underneath the mesh of the map. So I'm just going to walk forward slowly. You can see that bit right there. That is a Purlovia that has been dug underground. Now the interesting thing is you cannot damage it from the outside. You can try using arrows, bullets, and all that sort of stuff. The only thing you can damage it with is explosives such as rockets and grenades and stuff like that. But that requires you to know where it is, and the same thing applies to a hostile Purlovia from a hostile tribe. So obviously, if a tribe has Purlovia set to attack and dug in around the perimeter of their base, this is what you'll see. You won't see them, and once you walk above them, they will attack you. So obviously, before you start taming anything, make sure the area is clear. And in terms of food that the Purlovia likes, you should use the regular kibble. The Purlovia does like the regular kibble, and in the past it used to like the Moss Chops egg kibble. So with that being said and done, I'm going to put my gear on. I'm going to show you how to coax it out of its hidey hole. So what you want to do is you want to have a mount, preferably a flying mount or a tall mount that allows you to dismount the mount but remain on the back of the mount. So for example, you can do this with a Giga, you can do this with a Rex, you can do this with anything that allows you to stay on its back once you dismounted it. This will also come in handy for obviously coaxing out the Purlovia. So what you want to do is you want to go into the K mode, I'm not quite sure how else to name it basically, and then kind of look underneath the map, make sure that you are on top of where the Purlovia is, dismount it, and as you can see it will jump at you but hit the mount, and so therefore you've aggroed it out of its hidey hole. Now the other problem is you can try and kite it to an area and then try and trank it, but the problem is it will want to run away after a few darts, and then it does tend to re-aggro onto other creatures around, which kind of makes it difficult, especially if that creature is hostile and hits it back. So I'm going to show you one of the methods that you can try and use, but it doesn't really work. So I'm going to go and walk my wyvern up this cliff to the point where I can no longer go up, but the Purlovia is below me. With the wyvern, one interesting thing that you want to know is you can dismount it and actually remain on the wing and dart the Purlovia underneath it from that position. So I'm just finding a place where the wyvern won't go up any further. Now the Purlovia is aggroed on me. It should sneak up or try and sneak up underneath my wyvern, which is what it's done right now. And so I'm gonna sneak down its wing but not come off it, because that also allows me to mount it back up should I need to. So you can try and do this, but you will see in a minute what will happen after a few darts. Now this is to do with the AI of the Purlovia, where it will try and reposition itself, so it will run away then try and turn around. However, if it goes very far, it will re-aggro on a different creature, and so if the creature it re-aggros on is hostile towards the Purlovia, then obviously you will have a bit of a problem, because you'll also have to defend the Purlovia. So with that being said and done, let's get into the trap. So the trap I'm going to be using, as you can see underneath me, there is another Purlovia. I have spawned this one in, and obviously this is for illustration purposes. So what you want to do is you want to locate where the Purlovia is, then you want to set up a trap fairly close to it, and you want to find a flat surface to start on. And once we set up the trap, we will kite it into the trap. This one will be, of course, a pitfall trap, and I'm going to set it slightly further up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set down 4 foundations in a 2x2 shape, so something like that. Once the 4 foundations are down, the next step you want to do is you want to put a layer of walls all the way around it. 1 layer of walls should be enough, and once you've placed down the walls, you then want to place down ramps for the Purlovia to walk up into the trap when it's trying to follow you. Also, as I said at the beginning of the video, make sure that the area is as clear as can be of any other hostile creatures. Now, the terror bird does not aggro on the Purlovia, but it will aggro onto me, which can complicate the situation. You want to keep the area as clean as possible. Now, you can only place ramps from the position where you will be kiting the Purlovia into the trap. I normally prefer to surround my trap with ramps all the way around, just in case things go wrong and I need to re-kite or re-aggro the Purlovia because it's just decided not to play ball. So obviously this allows me to kite the Purlovia from any one of the 4 directions, as this is a square, so it's just a little backup thing that I do. Once you've set up the trap, what you'll want to do is you'll want to position your wyvern so that it is in line with the trap, or in whatever creature you choose to do this off of, so that it is in line with the trap, and then you can just run over it. Now with the wyvern, it can just simply run over the trap without actually falling in, which is why I prefer using a wyvern, but I realize everybody will not have a wyvern. You can also do this with another flyer. The whole secret is you have to dismount your mount to get the Purlovia to aggro onto you, and so it will stun you for about 10 seconds, so be prepared to get back on your mount and kite it into the trap. Now right there, what has happened with the wyvern is, well, it was lag, and I double tapped E, which then picks up the mount, as I am running a mod that allows us to pick up mods on the server. So notice that the Purlovia is in front of me. It does not allow me to run past it, so I just need to fly slightly ahead of it. I'm just going to run over the trap with the wyvern, and as you can see, the Purlovia is well and truly stuck in there. Now what you need to know about knocking out the Purlovia is that, of course, this is not a passive tame, therefore you have to knock it out. In order to do this, you can go halfway up the ramps to the point where you can just about see the top of the Purlovia and use your trance that way, or you can do it from the outside. I will show you both positions, but first things first, I'm going to show you what happens if you walk all the way up to the trap. So as you can see, the Purlovia did hit me, and it did do a knockback, so do be careful if you build your trap on the edge of a cliff, because you may end up falling you, and it does knock you quite a fair distance. Whereas if I'm just halfway up the ramp, I am still out of range of the Purlovia's swipe. Now this is one way of doing it. Obviously the Purlovia, whilst it is in the trap, may reposition itself, so I'm going to show you another way of doing it. You can just do it from the bottom. As you can see, the Purlovia will stick its head out, and all you need to know, or all you need to do, is to find the location where the Purlovia has decided to stick its head out, and then just tag its head. So as you can see, you can hit the Purlovia from outside of the trap as long as a part of it is sticking out. Now at this point, the Purlovia is of course trying to attack the trap and the ramps, but because it's such a small creature, it is unable to do so. So therefore, as you can see, it's not doing any damage to the trap. With that being said and done, my long neck rifle broke, so I'll have to get another one. Alright, here we are with a fresh long neck rifle. This has been spawned in for the purposes of this particular tutorial. You will know that the Purlovia is nearly knocked out when it stops attacking the trap and starts wanting to run away. Now by doing this, as you can see, the Purlovia is unable to get back out of the trap. It is safely tucked in the trap as well. Once it's been knocked out, you can only leave one ramp outside, demolish the rest, and then obviously place a ramp into the inside so you can access the trap. Whilst it's inside the trap, it should be fairly safe from pretty much any other creatures for the process of the taming. You can also add ceilings if you want to, just to keep it safe. It's really up to you. You can also surround the trap with spiked walls. Now as you can see, the Purlovia is more or less running around in circles, therefore its torpor is quite high and therefore very nearly knocked out. I can now stay on the edge of the ramp should I choose to. It should not be able to get to me, or it won't get to me, simply because it's now more focused on wanting to run away. There we go. Now as this is a high level Purlovia, and I do suggest that you do this with any high level creature, I recommend that you use the starving method. So that means you starve out the creature you're trying to tame until it is ready to instantly tame on the kibble. I recommend using the regular kibble for a good taming effectiveness, and once it's been starved out, just place the kibble in its inventory and wait it out. For this, of course, there is a very good app. It is called Dodo Decks, and it is an app that you can find both for Android and Apple devices, and it does allow you to put in the server details, and it is one of those apps that you can use for pretty much anything in the game, from taming to starving to breeding. So definitely your best friend for this particular game. Once you're finished with the tame, my suggestion is that you demolish the trap. That way you get back half of the resources that you put into building the trap, unless you know that that is a common area where Purlovia spawn and you want to come back to get some more. What is really nice about these creatures is that they can dig themselves in a hole once tamed, and as you can see, this hole is above the ground, but normally there will be underground. Other players will not be able to see it, and you can use it to store a lot of stuff. And as you can see, a 150 Purlovia does have a lot of weight, and there's a Carno right on my rear end. Let's get rid of this guy. But on PvP servers, these guys are really nice to have because you can just get them to dig themselves in, place all the stuff of value in their inventory, and as I said, unless a player knows it's there, you will have a good stash of stuff. Now obviously people watching this video will know how to look for the Purlovias, and there is a way. It's just the exact same way that I showed you there. So basically just go into K mode and then use the camera from that position to look underground to locate all of the Purlovias. Also, you can use these guys as mines. So basically once somebody walks on top of them, the Purlovia will jump out and stun them. And if you have a group of these things, they are ridiculously dangerous and powerful. Another way to know that there is a Purlovia underneath you when you are mounted is if you hear that particular noise that you're hearing from the Purlovia, as it does make that noise even when it is underground. That is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Until next time, stay safe, folks.